Hello, my dear friends, and welcome to the Kindred Stitch Folk. Thank you for joining me on this gloomy Alaskan day, which I'm absolutely loving. The rain is pouring down, the leaves are falling from the tree, and it's Indigenous Day here in the United States. And I want to first off acknowledge that I live and work in the land of the Dena'ina people here in Alaska. I want to acknowledge their care and devotion to the land that they hold so dear. I've been the lucky participant in a couple drum circles, and they attempted to teach me to drum. It wasn't very successful, as well as two talking stick circles when I worked for the Knights Sovereign Tribe in Kenai. And it was there that I fully engrossed myself in the culture of the people, and I was able to attend the Arctic Games and watch our youth participate in traditional games that teach agility, perseverance, stability, patience. Did I mention strategy? I don't remember if I did, but it was just amazing. I've never done a blanket toss. I've been on a circle doing a blanket toss, but I've never been the one in the blanket because I've always felt like I'd be too heavy. But blanket tosses are amazing. Like, yeah, think of trampoline times. I'm just imagining, especially because being a part of it and like feeling the tension. Oh, anyway, I also want to acknowledge that my family comes from the Osage of Oklahoma tribe. My grandmother was half Osage, so that makes my father 1/16th and I'm 1/32. My grandmother, though, when she was an adult and having children, she'd gone through so much stigma and things like that that she did not, I don't know if she didn't do it purposely or she just, conveniently forgot to make sure that her kids were registered with the tribe in Oklahoma. So none of the rest of the generations after that, like my father's not registered, I'm not registered. I'm not even sure. Is it 1/32 that you can't be registered, or is it 1/64? I don't know. But anyway, I don't even look Native American. I very much take after my German side of my family. But I want to acknowledge that contribution. It's okay, Oscar. Hey, it's okay. We're okay. Yeah, we're okay. And I am using a brand new way of recording. So I'm going to actually pause because my husband figured out how to connect my phone to our camcorder. So I want to make sure that it's recording well because I've actually already recorded this entire episode once already today, but unbeknownst to me, my microphone wasn't working, and so it didn't pick up anything. So I'm going to pause for a moment and make sure that everything is working, and then I'll come back. But for you, it'll be like nothing happened. Okay, everything's working well. The mic is kind of strong, but it's working. And you'll have to forgive me if I look down once in a while because now that we've connected the camcorder to my phone, I don't see anything in front of me on the little camcorder screen. It's all black. So I have to look down at my phone to see what's going on once in a while. So I'll put that right there. But my friends, my fingers have been very nimble the past 2 weeks actually. I got better from the illness that I was sick with I think I was getting over the last sickness when I last recorded, and then I had about 5 days non-sickness, and then I came down with something again, and I'm now just getting over it. So I really hope then I'm going to be able to edit out my sniffles. But if not, I ask for your forgiveness and compassion as I sniffle my way through this. So I have started knitting again. So I've got something to share there. I have started two new projects, restarted another one, worked really hard on another cross stitch, and I've kitted up 3 other projects. ready to go. I mean, now, I will admit that I have gotten quite sidetracked from my Christmas goals, but I've also decided that this has been such a hard year physically on me that I'm going to give myself grace. Um, if it means then that what I planned for everyone except for one of my siblings, that they will get what I had previously planned to give them for Christmas at their birthday, so be it. But I am, I'm right now, like something happened while I was um, getting sick again this last week, where something just switched in my brain where I just was like, I don't think I can handle pressure right now. Um, so for me, I was feeling very hard, like because I had to restart my brother's um, Christmas slash birthday present. I was feeling a lot of pressure, and I was feeling a lot of pressure to get those door hangers done for the office. And our crafting and pressure do not mix well. So when you start feeling pressure, or at least when I start feeling pressure, I start making stupid mistakes and I can't remember things. And I've got brain fog that happens because my stress levels go up. Thus, the cortisol levels go up. Thus, I'm in fight or flight mode, right? So these things are not conducive to actually A, enjoying the process of your craft, or B, actually getting something beautiful and thoughtfully curated, developed. So I was thinking to myself that for the most part, I think I'm just going to go ahead and allow myself grace and enjoy the process of stitching right now, especially since I'm learning so many new skills. So that's why you will see that I've kitted up so many projects. Um, yes, on one hand, it feels like my ADHD just kind of went on overdrive with all of this, but also on the other hand, it feels really good and appropriate to have made this choice. And plus, my family has been, all of my family members have been recipients of nonstop handcrafted items since for the last 20 odd years. So it's not like they're hurting for handcrafted items by me. In fact, it's tradition. Like most of my family, at least all the women in my family, we generally give handcrafted items for most celebrations, birthday or Christmas. Um, and my nieces have taken on that as well. And I tell you, my presents from my nieces are some of my most treasured items. They're paintings. They always make cards for us. What I've got some felted figurines that some of my nieces have made me. I mean, it's just amazing. My pillows that my sister has made me, the doily that my other sister made me, like it's just absolutely amazing to surround yourself with the love of other people, because everything you make, even when it's not a like, in knitting we have things called prayer shawls, where as you're knitting the item you're putting in good thoughts and good vibes. You might even be praying for the person as you're knitting. You're being very mindful about that. But even when you're not doing that kind of thing, let's just say that you're crafting on something and it's intended for another person, and you're listening to an audiobook or a podcast or you're watching a movie, you know, you're still thinking about that person as you're crafting. Like you can't help but think about them. And so as long as those good energy vibes go into that, and then that's transmuted or transformed, I can't remember the word, to the, or transferred, that's the word, to the recipient upon the receipt of that item. Yeah, there's just nothing better in the world. Yeah, really. This year, though, I think I'm going to ask for gift cards so that I can get specific things from different shops online or in town to create more handcrafted items for my loved ones. I always think it's hilarious, that, or I don't think it's hilarious. It's been mentioned to me quite a few times that I oftentimes will receive a gift, say yarn, and then I will turn around and make that into something for the person who actually gave me the yarn to begin with, which was not their intent. But I love giving that to my people. I love them being wrapped and secure in items that I've, created for them. It just, I don't know, there's just nothing better in my opinion, really. Speaking of, I just got a text message from one of my sisters. We're planning a craft day or night or something like that, where we're all going to get together, and I'll show you why that got prompted later on in haul. But I am so excited. So let's start with the first thing. I'm going to pause here and take a drink, and then come back and we'll get into knitting. Okay, so knitting in this gorgeous bag from my friend Maureen of the Charming You. That's Charming EWE. You can find her shop online. I haven't been to her shop in a while. I doubt you can get these bags on her shop unless things have changed, because Maureen always has these bags made special by an individual called Button and Boo, that's what she calls herself, who, to my knowledge, still to this day, does not sell project bags for profit online. She only creates these project bags for Charming You's special, like advent calendars or Halloween, or I think she does one for the 4th of July too. I'm not positive, but they do a whole bunch. But Maureen gifted me this project with the yarn included a couple years back, and I've loved it. Now, last year sometime, I used this yarn to cast on a pair of what I was hoping I was going to design a pair of slouchy socks. So think back in the late 80s, early 90s, when women were doing like jazzercise, and they were wearing those stretchy pants with those really clunky socks that were really long, so you slouched them down around your ankle and they puffed out and had all these you know you know how Anne says, "Look, Rilla, puffed sleeves." um I loved those and I missed them, and when I got this yarn I immediately thought of slouchy socks, so I decided to design it, and it was an utter fail. So I had put this yarn away in shame, and there it sat for the last year or more. And when I decided, I just had uh, an itch a couple days back to knit, and I haven't felt that itch in like 9 months since my friend passed away. And every time I had tried previously to force myself to knit, the grief that I felt around my friend just overwhelmed me, and I couldn't do it. Now, ironically, I've cast on a pair of socks, which Annie is the one who taught me to knit socks. And I'm not feeling grief. I'm feeling a lot of peace, and I wouldn't call it excitement, but like rightness as I knit these. So, without any further ado, here's my messy cake of yarn that I have like all this yarn has been unwound from the past attempt and put back on the cake, and so it looks a little messy, but you can see there's some hot pinks, some murky green, some almost highlighter green, but it's still a little murky. There's some muddy browns, there's some mauve. I mean, it's amazing. And here's the socks that I cast on. I cast on 60 stitches. I am doing a 1x1 twisted rib, and I'm doing the twisted rib for the entire length of the leg. And it's so squishy. Oh my goodness. Look at that stretch too. Oh, I am using double zeros. I think these are pros. Knit pros. I'm not positive. I think I'm wrong. Are these Knitters Pride? Man, it's been so long since I've talked about my knitting on a YouTube channel. Oh, I used to have all this down. But 60, I cast on 60 stitches. That's my standard for all socks for the women in my family and myself. If I was casting on for, say, my husband or the men folk in my family, I either do 68 or 72. And yeah, I just decided to do 1x1 twisted rib. It is my favorite ribbing, and I love the squishiness. And the variegation in the yarn is so quick and rapid fire that you can see this beautiful pooling, but at the same time there's like speckling going on within the pooling. And that is supported by the 1x1 twisted rib, because when you twist the yarn, it takes up a little bit. When you twist the stitch, it takes up a little bit more yarn, and so it moves things around a lot more. So the pooling is very different when you do these kinds of things. So that's my progress so far. And this is probably about maybe an hour and 15 minutes worth of work. Maybe. But that's an hour and 15 minutes of just a little bit distracted work, because of course, I never get to fully concentrate. Even right now, my son is down for his nap and I'm listening for him. So, oh, I'm so sorry. I hope that didn't get too loud in your ears. Anyway, so that is my knitting, and I'm so excited to be back in it. And once again, I'll tag Maureen's shop in here. And so, Maureen, if you're watching this, thank you so much, my dear one. You are the kindest, most generous, thoughtful friend. I am so lucky to know you, and it's because of yarn and knitting that I know you, and for that I will be eternally grateful. I cannot tell you guys how many good friends I have because of knitting. And for the most part, it's because of I'm going to call it my YouTube channel that is on hiatus. And that's why I started my cross stitch channel, because I developed such good friends, like lifelong amazing friends from around the world. I have a friend in South Africa, for heaven's sakes, like that I talk to almost daily. Not talk to, but message with on Instagram in particular. And these friends, they like the care package that I got last week. Again, another knitting friend that I made from the podcast. And I just, wow. There are still trolls out there, just like there are in the cross stitch world or any world that we are in. But by and large, the crafting fiber, the fiber world in general, and I include cross stitching in that, just, I think the act of being man, I'm philosophical today, aren't I? But the act of creation from something that you just see material and you think to yourself, oh, I could bring these things together and create something beautiful and worthwhile. Somehow that mindset creates a mindset also of the person as compassionate and caring and giving, and by and large just gentle. And the world is just better for having all of us in it. I'm just going to say it. Yeah. But that is my knitting. All right, so let's talk about works in progress. What one to talk about first? How about we talk about the one that I had to restart first? This might get a little loud for just a second. Hopefully not. Oh, before I show you that, I found this just yesterday, actually. So my husband and I have organically been cleaning up and rearranging like our bookshelves, and we're working on my son's room right now because boy howdy, kids just I mean, granted, I'm the one that buys the toys for my son. And my husband, once in a while, will get him something small, but I'm the one that contributes to my son's toy collection most strongly. So technically, it's my fault. But at this moment, his room is a landmine, and so I try to organize it every couple weeks and stuff. But I mean, you guys would know if you're a parent, like you clean up your house and then 5 minutes later, it's like a bomb exploded. Like, and my house is tiny. We're less than 700 square feet. And so one little mess looks like a huge mess. I remember when we traveled around the United States, I was 12 years old, 12, 13 years old. I believe I turned 13. No, I was 11 and I turned 12 on the trip. But we went for what my family fondly calls the year trip around the United States. Now, full time, my parents just had the four youngest of us. My two oldest siblings were either in college or already out on their own. And so they did not join us full time for the trip, but they did join us every now and then, especially for holidays and stuff in the motorhome. So we had four kids plus two parents living full time in a motorhome. And we did not have pullouts. My dad didn't believe in that back then in 1990. And so I think it was even a brand new thing in 1990 to have a slide out. I think. I'm not positive. But so we had, I mean, 40 square feet for six people. My dad and mom redesigned the motorhome. So when they bought the motorhome, I don't know what the configuration was, but my aunt owned a custom RV repair shop slash it can like she could do anything. In fact, it's still around, even though my aunt has sold it. And it's one of I think it's still one of the most trusted RV shops in the state of Alaska. I think Karen's RV. Um, so my dad had my aunt redesign the motorhome. So that we had two couches and each of them were sleeper couches. So in any given night we could fold out one or the other. But there was also enough for a little bit of storage underneath. I don't know how they figured this out. It's amazing. But we all just had one cupboard and one drawer that she also custom made the bed for my parents so that there were six drawers in the base. You know, nowadays they have those beds that lift up and there's storage underneath. Well, we didn't have that back then. So my aunt custom made this bed with drawers coming out for the motorhome. And so we got one drawer and one cupboard. And that had to contain our schoolwork, any toys we had, and our clothes. So that's all we got. And why was I telling you this? There was a reason. Oh, because of the small space footage. I just remember that it was just natural for us to just never make a mess. It just, you just always picked up after yourself because just leaving a pencil on a surface well, for one, created a hazard. And for two, like it just automatically looked filthy. I miss those days. I keep trying to convince my husband, because I could work from anywhere, but I keep trying to convince my husband that we need to sell the home and buy a motorhome. And as long as I have a private space where I can see clients, then I could work from anywhere. It would just be amazing. All these people, they think they're pioneers, going on this, selling up and going, traveling around the United States in their caravans and motorhomes and minivans and stuff. And I hate to tell you guys, I mean, kudos to you for doing it, but you are not pioneers. In 1990, we weren't pioneers. I can't tell you how many people we met and other families we met that were doing the exact same thing as we were, either full-time living in their RV, period, like not even doing it for like we did for a year. They just lived and traveled in their RV back then. But also just going back further, like, what do you think the pilgrims did? Or the pioneers and people going, across the world to go gold panning? I hate to tell you, but you guys, the gypsies, the Magyards, we are just recreating the wheel, maybe with a little cooler, little like beveled edge to the wheel, or a little smoother ride to the wheel, but we're not recreating. I mean, we are not developing anything new with this movement. So, hate to tell you that. But anyway, that's another tangent. Boy, howdy. Let's get back to the cross stitch, shall we? All right. So, if you recall, I was telling you that because we were rearranging things and cleaning up things, and I found this. This I bought to do macrame on, and it's a cork board. And I tried really hard to do macrame, but it just never worked out for me. It was so messy. My knots just were all over the place, and this just did not work. And so I had stashed this away behind our couch, funnily enough. And so when we moved the couch out to like start working on the bookshelves yesterday, we found this, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is perfect for my cross stitch to show off. So previously I was going to get a foam board and glue some fabric to the front and some felt to the back, like most cross stitcher floss tubers do. But I'm still going to do that, but with this cork board. And yeah, it's going to ruin the cork board for use on other things, but you know what? I don't care, because the use that it was meant for did not work out for me. So I'm going to make it work. Anyway, so now I can show off my progress on my restart of Rio de Janeiro for my brother Eli for his birthday / Christmas this year. And the reason I restarted it is because I was cross-stitching this on the Ada white that came in the kit, and this coffee brown color, or maybe we'll call it cappuccino or something like that, or latte, also came with the kit. And I'm really grateful for that because I've restarted it on this. So this is 18 count Ada. And I restarted it because that white that you see, like the bridge and all these other areas that you see the white, it didn't even ghost. It just literally disappeared on the fabric I had before, even with me cross stitching in the other colors that surrounded it. It just looked like there was no stitches there. So I didn't like that, so I've restarted, and I'm not as far as I was on the last project, but I am making good progress. And after I'm done recording today, this is going to be my focus piece for the day. So I'm using all the kitted supplies from Awesome Pattern Company. I'll put a picture in here for you about what it is, because I can't find my package for this, but I of course have all of the packages for all of the other kits right there. So this is the Germany one that I'm going to do for my sister Amy. And at some point, I'm actually really excited to do the Germany one. But in this makeup bag, I have so many of these little makeup bags I got from Ipsy because I could not for the longest time figure out how to stop that subscription. And so they just kept coming month after month. I think I've got like 2 years, so 24 of these. And so I've got all the pre-bobbined floss here. And so I believe I still have enough, because everybody gives a little extra in their kits. So I should have enough to still complete this project. So I'm excited about that. Then I started the Quilted Witch, I think, by Fat Quarter Shop. I'll insert a picture here. So there's no comparing from last time where I was, because this is a brand new start. So I cast that on, and if you remember, I was complaining, let's just be honest, complaining last episode about the fact that the pattern would not get into any pattern keeper and the floss be recognized. And I thought I had figured out a way to, or maybe I still have, I haven't checked yet, to work around that. But I was thinking about it this morning, and I'm not sure that I've done it correctly, because I'm going to double check with the pattern. But here's the first quilted star area in the upper right hand, no, right, left hand corner of the piece, and it's a quite big emblem. But I don't know if you can see it, but there's a lot of stitching in here, but the color is ghosting so heavily. So I need to double check that I used the right floss in there. And I might even have to unpick, I'm not sure. But we'll see. We'll see. This was just an evening's work, but it was probably about 3 hours worth of work, because I remember it was a night that my husband was gaming, and he usually games for about 3 hours, so, with his friends. So I did that. And this is a 14 count Ada. I don't know the colorway name. I know it's Weigart. But it came with the, I chose to get it when I made the order, placed the order with Fat Quarter Shop. So it's whatever I got from Fat Quarter Shop. That really tells you a lot. So I'm pretty darn sure this is what Lori Holt stitched hers on, because I believe she tends to like to do her samples in 14 count. Am I right? Yeah, I think. Yeah. Anyway, by and large, I really like it. Like, I'm pretty darn happy with it. I mean, even the ghosting in real life, I actually kind of like it. And I'm hoping that with the other colors behind it, even if I did make a mistake, I'm almost tempted to keep it, because I'm wondering if other colors around it will come in and make it pop a little bit. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Both of those scroll frames that I just showed you, they are pretty darn cheap frames, and you get what you pay for. They are not stable. The tension does not stay consistent. The screw areas where, you move the arms and everything, they were threaded before I even put them together. I mean, as in, like, they just will not keep a good tension. So I am seriously contemplating on, like, saving for, there was a lap frame that I saw on Antique Stitchers. I think that's what she's called. She did her favorite things episode, and she showed that lap frame that she absolutely loves. It's $384 for that lap frame, but I'm tempted to save for it, because I can't stitch at a table, because I don't really have an answer to why I can't, except I just always stitch on the couch or in my stitchy corner. So I need something that will work for that. So I'm contemplating that. Okay, and last thing that is a new start as well. Oh no, this isn't the last thing. But another new start is the kit that I am doing for my parents for Christmas, or maybe it's for their anniversary, because they're snowbirds. They're gone. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to send this to them for Christmas, and I don't know how much I'll get done by Christmas, but I have started it. So it is the Happiness is Having Grandchildren to Love tree. And we have 15 grandchildren, so I get to fill up every single space on that tree. And I've started down here, and the phrase is all backstitched. And I am very new to backstitching. I think if this had been on, say, Ada or something, I would have felt confident in everything lining up and looking pretty. But because this is on printed fabric and the weave is very tight, if you are off by one strand of the weave, the back stitch looks off. So while I've only got this phrase done here, this took me hours yesterday to complete. I mean, hours, because I wanted this to look right. Now, there's one or two places where I just could not fix it. No matter what I did, it just always looked wrong. And you can also tell that I started with the G down here. And as I went across, I got better and better and better at it until I was an expert up here. And then I've got like 5 or so French knots. And I've heard people a lot of times on here say that they are not good, not on here, but on Flosstube, that they're not competent at French knots. And I was like that for a lot of years. And then I finally learned a method that saved my bacon. And I have plump, good, sturdy, and stable French knots every time now. Like, I'm never concerned anymore. So if you'd like, maybe I'll make a short YouTube video on it or something to show you my French knots. But now I'm going to go over here and start working on the side panels. And I'm excited for that. This is a little bit nerve-wracking to do because, like I said, this isn't even linen. We can't even consider this linen. This is literally just, like, I'm not sure if it's even cotton. I don't know if it contains embroidery thread. Printed on white sailcloth. Sailcloth, interesting. Isn't that interesting? But the weave is very tight and it's very difficult to get. I have an extremely sharp needle, embroidery needle that I'm using, and I keep poking myself. At one point, the needle was stuck straight out from my thumb. It is so sharp because of that. The last thing I'll mention here, hold on, I need another drink. I'm losing my voice again already. The last thing I'll mention on this project is that when I opened the kit, the floss in there, yes, it was in a knot, like all together in a knot, but it was messy and all jumbled up, and it's kind of stiff, I want to say, because this kit came out in 1995. So 30 years this has been kitted, not used. As I've been manhandling and fondling the floss, it's gotten softer and softer, but at first it was just, ooh. But it took me about an hour to separate all the threads because of what I just mentioned, but also because a lot of the colors are just slightly off. And so I had to be kept going over to the window to compare to make sure that I didn't mix up any threads. So, like, for instance, this is dark brick red and this is just brick red. And then down here, let's just take like the yellow and tan, for instance. Like, they were really hard to indistinguish just by looking at it. But I don't have floss drops, a lot of them. I have in my stash like 2 packages of floss drops, but I knew they weren't going to be enough even with the 2 packages combined, because I think I've only got a total of 8 to do this, because there are, let's just count this, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 19 colors in just this kitted project alone. And so I knew I had a set of, let's just call them positive affirmation cards, that I had previously bought to share with my clients, but I had never taken down to the office. So they've just been sitting on my desk for the past like year maybe. And so I just decided, hey, I'm going to repurpose those, and maybe there'll be enough left over that I can still take the leftovers down to my clients. So I purposely made sure and picked the positive affirmations that I felt I probably wouldn't speak to any of my clients. Like, you are blessed. Like, I'm not going to give that to a client. Like, how condescending to give a client that. Or just because it's hard doesn't mean it's impossible. Again, Like when you're thinking in the mental health field and you're thinking about a person who is depressed, they're struggling with motivation, or let's say they've got an even harder, I mean, not even harder. I don't like to like tier my diagnoses, but let's just say somebody's experiencing psychoses. You give them a card like that, what's that going to tell them? Buck up, buttercup. Like, I'm sorry, I really want to cuss right now. Like, that's just not something that I would do. Would not give these cards to them. But I did save back a few cards that I felt actually might be useful to them. So what I did was I didn't have a hole puncher at the time. I have since ordered a hole puncher that a paper hole puncher that would be appropriate for this. I just had a normal like school hole puncher, you know, that you have in your hand. Thought I had it here to show you, but oh, I left it over there. Anyway, so I just made a series of holes punched out right there. Here, let's get that cork board back up. So I just had a series of holes down here, and I tried to make it so that there weren't any sharp edges. There's a few sharp edges here and there on one or two of the cards. But then I made a couple holes up here, and yeah, they both of these holes eat into the phrase and the image. I don't care. It's fine. And then I just put all the colors on those. And then on the back, I hand wrote whatever was written on the legend for each of these. So this is light yellow green, number 16253. I have no idea what that number thing means because it's obviously not a DMC. But I wrote it because it was on the legend. And in case I lose the legend, I have this. So got it on every single one of them. And then I just hooked on one of my needle threaders onto there too. So that's all ready to go. And then I have all of this being housed in one of my, technically this is a like professional folder that I got off of Amazon for super cheap, but it's got a mesh front so that you can see through. And then inside it's got two, so you can hold documents in it. And I wish that I could afford to get those beautiful portfolios, cross-stitch portfolios that people sell online, but you know, rightly so, they are selling them for like 70 up to 120 bucks on Etsy. I can't afford that. So I just had this laying around, not being used for the intended purpose. And guess what? Everything fits in here just right. So I don't know when I got this off of Amazon, but, and it's got a little holder. It's perfect. So that was another start. I'm quite proud of myself for that. And then I worked some, not just some, quite a lot actually, on my Christmas start. One of many Christmas starts, I'm thinking. And you know what? I'm not going to pressure myself to make these be done in time to put up this year. I'm seeing it as a long-term investment into the future of my coziness of my home. Okay? And I think most people view that way. Plus, just enjoy the journey. Boy, howdy, I just said I wouldn't give platitudes to my clients, and then I just did it. You're not a client, but still. But this is one of my stamped cross-stitch kits, and this is Santa Claus riding on a, you know, fluffy, cuddly, large bear riding through the forest, and he's delivering presents. We've got the moon in the background over there. And I've been focusing on filling in all the 310, the black 310. I've been doing pretty good on this, to be honest. So where'd my corkboard go now? There it is. My goodness, Emily. You get a corkboard and you just continue to lose it. All right. Face up and over and nice. This is just perfect. Look how this is so perfect on here. Oh my gosh. So everything that you see black on here, I stitched. Now, the last time you saw it, oh, well, you know what? Here's a picture of where it was last time that we recorded. So last time I had, so I do need to invest in those clips, it looks like, huh? I had all of this done down here, and I was working over here, for some odd reason, I think I just noticed one day all of the 310 that needed to be done in Santa and the bear. And so I just traveled over there and then I just continued moving upward and then over and then down. And now I'm coming back and I'm working over and down. And I'm just going to get it all, whoops, all the black done. And then I'm going to move on to the next color on the legend, which is, so number 2 is this dark green that you see in the butt there of the bear. I don't know where else it is. There's some over here. So there's not much of the green. But I'll just continue moving down the legend as we go. Oh, and I do want to point out my mistake. So there are 2 colors in here that if you don't have good lighting, you will mistake it for the other. So I'll pull those out. So it's black 310, which is trapped around something. And where's that other one? Man, my voice is not wanting to work. No, that is brown. See, I just almost thought this was black. So here is the brown, and it's very dark. And here is the black. And in the late hours with just a lamp, they're indistinguishable. In the light of day, you can distinguish them if you work hard enough on it. So I have made the mistake of knitting some of the dark brown in the 310 areas, and I'll show that to you in a second. So I went through all the bobbins and I wrote down black, brown, right? So I know I can just look at them. I thought most of these had numbers on them, but for some reason the ones that have, see, this one has 310 in there, but this brown doesn't have a number on it. I don't know why. Some of them have numbers and some of them don't. It's a it's a thing, I guess. But ooh, is everything okay? Another cheap Ipsy, whatever it is, makeup bag for all my floss. Ooh, I'm starting to sweat. But right about here, there's a line of brown, and then right here, this whole section here is brown instead of the black. Am I going to unstitch it? No, I'm leaving it, and whatever comes will come. That's what I say. So it's just a design feature, as we say in knitting. But also, I'm trying really hard to just accept my mistakes. I don't always have to be happy with them. I'm okay with this one. But, you know, some of my mistakes I am not happy with in my life. But I am trying to accept that I am not perfect and I make mistakes. And to either A, deal with the consequences, or B, continue to move forward. This is a move forward situation, not an unpick situation. The Rio de Janeiro, that was a correct your mistakes period. Okay, let's move into the kitted up, not started yet section. Okay, so in my kitted up, I've got technically 3, but they're only in 2 bags. And this first one will tell you why. So as I've been ill, especially on Saturday, I think Saturday I watched at least 15 hours of Flosstube and just either laid down and languished, or I cross-stitched. Or I knit a little, I think. Maybe, did I? No, I didn't knit on Saturday. And I was enabled. I watched one lady, I don't remember her name. She was so sweet. She does a Zoom, and she calls out people's names that get to join her. I guess she limits it to like 10 or something. I don't know. For her every other week Zoom session. Stitch with me. I don't know what it is. But anyway, she apparently gives away things every week. So like patterns and stuff. I hardly ever enter into those things because a number of reasons. A, I know this is fateful thinking, but I never win. And B, I figure, you know what? I can just go and support that small creator. And, instead of entering them, I can go and get it. So that's what I did in this case. So she was talking about this lady that designed these series of, well, only two in the series, quotes by Louisa May Alcott. There was the Determined Woman quote that I'll flash on the screen, and there's the Storms quote, which really spoke to me. Like, I've heard that one before, but that is speaking to me so strongly right now. And so the lady who designed these quotes is Sewbe Stitchery, Sewbe Stitchery, all one word, on Etsy. And I went on there, and she had another quote. This one from Jane Austen's Mansfield Park, and I had to get that one too. That one, I don't know when I'll stitch it, but I'll stitch it. Now, I don't think I'm a letter stitcher, but it tells you something when I've kitted up for the two Louisa May Alcott quotes. Tells you something. So the design was done on 40 count linen. I'm not there yet. It was also done on like the normal, like the taupey brown that we all gravitate to. And but I just went in my stash and I figured out what I had for these projects. And I came across this Zweigart Lugana 20 count antique rose. And this fabric, I've got, like, does it say how much I've got on here? I don't know, but it's a lot of fabric on here. I got it from a guy. I'll link his shop below because I feel like I got this like at the beginning of the year when I was first getting into stitching, and I was just like gobbling up. I had a lot of extra funds at that time. I'm not tooting my horn. It's just how it was. Okay. But so I gobbled up a lot of fabric buying, and I had no inkling as to what I was doing at all. So I've got like 18 pieces of fabric that range from Ada to Lugana to linen. And I think the highest I was smart. I think the highest I went on the linen was 32 count. Smart girl. So I think one day I'll be able to do that, but I don't think I'll ever get to the 42. But I got this, and it's beautiful. And one of my favorite combos in the entire world of colors is pink, like a rose pink with a cobalt blue. And I happened to have, so when the Animal Cracker series came out, I think I was obviously late to party because, I was learning about these things this last spring, and when does it happen? In the fall? I don't know. But anyway, I was learning about the Animal Crackers, and I don't know what I kitted up, which pattern. I believe it was for the rabbit, but I ordered from an Etsy shop the Weeks Dye Works that it was called for, but I've never stitched it. And I don't know when or if I will ever stitch that Animal Cracker. They seem like a great idea, but right now I've got other priorities. So in that kitted package, I had this cobalt blue from Weeks Dye Works. It's actually called Michael's Navy. It's number 1309. So I am going to do the ship stitch on this. And I am going to make it into, I think, a pillow. I think I'm going to learn how to do that. I'm pretty sure one of my sisters or one of my nieces can teach me how to do this. If not, I will just ask them to do it for me. And then for the, oh God, it's not Steadfast Woman, Determined Woman quote, in that same kitted up thing for the Animal Cracker, I had this beautiful variegated brown. And this colorway from Weeks Dye Works is called Swiss Chocolate 1237. And this just so happens to be my other all-time favorite color combination. Yes, purple is a color that I gravitate towards in terms of clothing, but for decoration and for comfort, I gravitate towards, like, this is my perfect color. This antique rose. I just love it. And then when you put the brown and the cobalt blue on it, done. Like, you know, I am in absolute heaven. Absolute heaven. It's just is so soothing to me. And so I am going to be stitching up those. I don't know if I need to put these on floss drops. I can create 2 more floss drops for these. No problem. But I'm going to do monochromatic for this. And it's going to go in here. And this has got me itching to get back out my Princess Bride sampler. Oh, I miss that thing. I want to stitch on it. Okay. Then the last thing I kitted up, which I'm super excited about, Rose RHO. They're out of Australia. Their YouTube channel. Just put in RHO. I think they're pretty popular. I think. Anyway, one of them just literally in passing, I think it was literally just one sentence, happened to mention that Satsuma is hosting a Christmas mystery sal. And I immediately went on there. And I gulped when I saw the price of $16 for the PDF pattern. But I purchased it anyway because I love everything she does. Never stitched anything she does, but I've lusted after every pattern she does. And so I got the pattern and I shopped from my stash for everything else. So she calls for either a 28 count linen or 14 count Aida in raw, something like that. But it's like kind of a dirt. I mean, that sounds bad, but it's not bad. A dirt colored fabric. And I actually happen to have the exact 14 count in my stash. Who knew? But I also had this 28 count Lugana in laurel green. So I had pulled this out as well. And I thought, okay, well, when I'm done kitting up the floss, I'm going to lay out the floss on both of the fabrics and figure out which one I gravitate towards. And it was this one. I just thought, like, all the colors still popped. The raw linen one kind of made me a little sad. And I was thinking, Christmas shouldn't make you sad. So I went with this one. And let's see, does it say where I got it from? No. But it is 18 by 27 and so inches. So I know I've got enough for the sal. And then I went through my floss, and this took me over, well, okay, so I started at 7:30 and I didn't get done with kitting up this project until midnight last night. Some of that was working on importing the pattern and correcting the pattern in what's it called? Markup XP, because yet again they couldn't read anything, and so I was going through and I was selecting the symbols and then telling it what colorway it was and so on and so forth, and creating my own legend. So that took a long time. But what took the majority of the time was getting the floss, because this is what I'm going to be using on this design, this project. There are 28 colors in this project. And I was just so lucky that between DMC and my off-brand that I just, those packs of like 300 or more that you can get off of Amazon, and it's like, I don't know, $19 or something. I got that at the beginning of the year, and I've been shopping from it a lot. And so between what DMC I had in stash and that, there is literally only one color I don't have, and that is DMC 13. So I'm going to go up to Michael's after I'm done recording and get that one color. So I don't know when I'm going to need it, but for this project, but I will have it. So yet again, I created my own floss drops. This time I took a random pack of cards, and I knew that these cards, the reason why they look brand new, even though the box is really icky, is because when I got these cards, playing cards, When I opened it up and felt them, they're just too flimsy. Like, you can't shuffle them. They're going to rip, they're going to bend, they're going to have all kinds of, they're just going to be trashy really fast. So I pulled them out and I said, these are going to be my floss drops for this. And I've designated the rest of this pack as well, to future projects for floss drops. And these are so beautiful. They're little roses on there, and it tells you the name. Like, look at this one. The name of this rose is Compassion. I mean, come on. I want that in my house. Oh, look at this Dawn Chorus. I love that. But yeah, every single card has a different rose on it with the name on it. So yet again, here's my cork board. I went through, let's just take one. Uh-oh. My thing opened up. Oh, no, that's my card pack. Okay. So let's just take the white. That's the easiest one right here. Come on now, you can do it. Okay. So I went through and I hole punched the series of like 4 or 5 holes at the bottom, making sure that there was no harsh pointy edges. And then I did 2 holes at the top here to make it kind of so this can jiggle around in here and not be constricted. And I then on the back of this, the backing of the playing cards is just this nice, very muted design. And so I took my DMC numbered stickers that I got, and I picked out the numbers for this. And there was 1 or 2 that I had obviously picked out for different projects, and luckily those packs come with some blank slates. And so I just wrote on the sticker what the number was, and I put it on here. And then I organized them according to ascending number, so not by color, but so we start with B52. The next, oh, these 2 colors are an exception. No, yeah, well, they're sort of an exception, but it just so happens to go in order. But 310, and I wanted those 2. I knew I wanted, even though they would probably be out of order, I knew I wanted those 2 together and separate from the rest. And then we just go in ascending order. So we've got 312, 321, 415, and so on and so on, forth up until 3864 at the top. And then I unskeined everything, made them into the length that I wanted, put them on here, cut the ends down here, and Bob's your uncle. I'm ready to go. So I'm quite proud of myself. But this was labor intensive. I don't know that I have the patience, the energy, or the ability to do this for every project, but it just so happened that for some reason the stars aligned yesterday and I was able to do exactly that. But that's honestly why I buy kits all the time, is because I have no idea if I'm going to be able to devote the attention to kitting up a project. And so, yeah, it's just easier that way. So those are my new starts and my kitted projects that I will be starting this week. And so let's go on to Happy Mail. Okay, so as for Happy Mail, you can tell my voice is starting to go. So I got another care package in the mail. And this person would like to remain anonymous. They do not want their name out there in the YouTube world. Yeah, but anyway, and I completely respect that, but you know who you are. Mwah, I love you. But they sent me 2 coloring books from the artist Jim Shore. And at first when I opened these books, I was like, oh my gosh, cross stitch patterns. And then I opened them further and I was like, coloring. And then I read the note and it said from her, it said that she wanted to provide me another outlet if I didn't feel like I could knit or cross stitch. She knew how important it was for me to always be creating. And at this time, maybe I needed another outlet. So she sent me coloring books. And these are so gorgeous. So let's start with the celebration of country traditions. And I'd never heard of this Jim Shore guy, but to give you an idea of his artwork, maybe you guys have heard of him. I don't know. But I could just stare at these all day. They're so gorgeous. Now, some of these patterns or designs repeat between the two books, but I mean, am I going to complain about having a duplicate of something? I don't think so. Oh, by the way, this is that Jim Shore guy. So let's just randomly pick something. Here's a duck, a mallard. Look at that. Or I know lots of you like cats, so I'll just go ahead and show it. It's not my thing. Maybe it would be my thing if I had a cat. I don't know. Oh my gosh, I didn't see this one before. Look at the Easter bunny. It's a wheelbarrow full of eggs. Oh my goodness. And what's lovely is that I'm trying to find the one that I really liked. Well, I do love this one. I'm going to have to give this one, though, to my bestie because she's cuckoos over lighthouses. But what I like is that on each of these pages, on one side, you have a quote. So on the back of each design is a quote. And so this one says, on the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me a partridge in a pear tree. Oh, because it's on the back of Santa Claus. So there you go. So I can tear, it's also perforated, so I can tear this out. But I love that because I can feel that with impunity, if I decide to, I can use any medium. I might even be able to use paints. I don't know. I'm not a painter though. But I know I can use markers or pencils or crayons and not feel like the marker will bleed through to the next page because I'll just take it out anyway. So I love this one. The rooster is one of my favorites. I think that's at the very beginning too. Yep, it's the first one. I love that rooster. And then the other one she gave me is the Holiday Traditions collection. And so I just opened this to a random page. Oh, by the way, yeah. So at the front of it, there's these postcard sized images of the things that you'll find in here. But then just immediately following it is a full, well, not full size, but 8.5 by 10, 11 reproduction of it. And then it immediately goes into the coloring pages. And look at that Santa. I love that he does the old traditional Santa, not the newer one. So there's a Christmas tree. What's this one? I can't tell. Ah, Santa's sleigh. I apologize for that. My camera died, which it will do if you have to record your episode twice. It's only got so much. But I was in the middle of showing you. Oh my gosh, look at this one. The holiday coloring book. Oh my goodness. They are just gorgeous. You know I'm going to be starting on these. So thank you, my dear friend. I really appreciate the gift of the care gift that was so thoughtfully and lovingly given. Oh my gosh. I feel so taken care of. Thank you. I know I'm only getting a couple views right now per episode, like in the teens. I don't care. I watched another podcaster who's new to Flosstube. I watched her episode yesterday, and I actually had to turn it off because I was a little annoyed because in part of her intro, she was saying that she reached out to another YouTube Flosstuber and asked for some advice on how to get followers, and I was just like, "Is that all you're in it for? Just followers?" I want to create a community like I have with my other YouTube channel. So I'm grateful for those of you who watch. and comment. Please comment. I want to hear what you think about the projects. If you have any thoughts about the things that I'm doing, obviously, like I mentioned last time, gently, and without malice. But I want to hear what you have to say. All right, so let's go into haul. There's some fun stuff here. Okay, let's move on to haul, shall we? So the first thing I want to share is a package I got in the mail. I made an order to the Missouri Star Quilt Co. for their English paper piecing kit. This tote came with the stuff to get you started. It doesn't come with any fabric. So I did buy some fabric as well. But it comes packaged like this. Ah! See, I knew I was going to do that. It comes packaged like this, and it's meant to house all of your English paper piecing. Has a pocket in the front. Oh, and a zipper pocket in the back. I never noticed that. Yeah. It's a good, I think this might be water resistant. I'm not really sure. But all of this came with it. The first thing that caught my attention with this packet is it comes with the thread. Now, the biggest reason I've always been intimidated by starting English paper piecing is that it has been, drilled into me by my sisters and YouTubers that you need the correct thread for English paper piecing. So luckily this came with it. This is a company by Iris, and it's Sebring Silver, and this is cotton 47 1/3. So I'm good to go. I got the right stuff. Then also in the packet, it comes with the instruction guide, and on the back there's a QR code to watch some tutorial videos. So there's that. Then it comes with this. I'm not really sure what this is. I don't know if this is a working thing, but it's like a trivet. I don't know if this is if this is a cutting mat, a gluing mat. I don't know what this is, but I'll figure it out. Then it came with 3 packages that all have these grommets on them, and I'm not sure why, because there's no place in this package. Wow, there's pockets everywhere. There's no place in this in this bag to put these together. So I don't know why there is a thing on here, but it came with sewing scissors and the temporary glue that you use, which I didn't know it came with. And so I purchased some temporary glue as well. Then it comes with a bunch of different sizes. So it comes with the needles you need. It comes with a needle minder. Then we've got the small diamond, the filler triangle. Then we've got the large hexagon, and we've got the petals. I believe these are the petals that are typically used in English paper piecing. Okay, so I've got those. And then it came with a random canvas bag. I don't know what this is used for. Maybe there's a project in there that you're going to English paper piece on this bag. Like that's your first project. I don't know. So because it didn't come with any fabric, and yes, I buy fabric at garage sales, but I just happened to see on their daily deal for that day that this packet of Sunset Garden was on. Okay, so there might be a little more noise because I think my husband's going to get Jimmy up from his nap. But this packet of Sunset Garden, are these called? These are 10 squares of this, and I still haven't opened it, and I don't plan on opening it until my sisters and I have decided that we are going to have a craft day. And so my sisters are going to help me learn to properly English paper piece, even though that, at least one of my sisters is highly against the temporary glue. I'm going to be using the temporary glue. Okay, we're just going to do it. But we're going to learn that. We're arranging that day now. I'm so excited. Some of my nieces will be there. hopefully my sister-in-law will be there, and so on and so forth. My sisters and whoever else wants to join. Like, hey, if you're in Anchorage, hit me up. But oh, Teddy's barking. Now Oscar decided he needs to as well. So this is gonna be gorgeous. So I got that. Then while I was on their site, they also had this as a deal, Millie's bag pattern for paper piecing. And I was like, yes, please. And inside it comes with the smaller hexes and the actual die or the template to create more of the hexes. So I liked that. And it comes with the pattern. And it might come, nope, I don't see a QR code. But so I'm probably going to make one of these. Maybe that'll be my first project. I don't know. We'll see. And I also ordered because I've never done this, Zen embroidery kits. It just comes with the fabric and needle. And the idea behind this is that you embroider as you feel you want to. Use whatever color you want in the squares. Hi, everybody. This is Emily coming to you from the next morning, i.e. Tuesday. It's early in the morning. I've got all the lights on. I don't think I'll be using that phone interface with this camera again because my gosh, that was such a struggle yesterday. And then it didn't record this last segment, even though, so this is the third time I'm recording this last segment. I apologize. But I cannot not show you because I'm super happy about it. I have here an entire bag. I love my little soft fabric bags here, baskets. Two things in here are not garage sale finds, but all the rest of it is. All of these, and they're all kits. So my local senior center, every year they put on it's a sort of garage sale, but they invite people in the community to donate books, craft supplies, puzzles, whatever they want. And then whatever is sold, the money goes straight back into the senior center programs. And we have an amazing senior center, amazing. I'm actually working with one of their coordinators to help support the seniors with mental health. So we're going to be doing a mental health fair with them at the end of this month, which I got to finish getting the promotional items done with that. And then I'm going to come back, I think we said in November, and do a presentation with the seniors or whoever wants to come. And so she told me about the craft sale that happened last weekend, and I drug my husband and my son along to it, and it was fabulous. Oh my gosh, it was amazing. And I had so much fun chatting with everybody who was there, whether they were volunteers, employees, fellow shoppers. We were just all in this camaraderie state of mind. And so, like, at one point, I was talking to a lady about how she knits and crochets sweaters that she sells then online, and she was sharing some of her designs with me, and I helped her scrounge through the yarn to find the best for her next set of sweaters, and she found some good deals. It was really awesome. I did not buy any yarn because even for my clients, I'm good. Like, I was donated earlier this summer, I think it was. A friend of mine's mother unfortunately cannot knit anymore, and she has had a vast collection or stash of yarn, and she donated all of that to me / my clients. So I've actually got a storage cupboard full of yarn that I have yet to go through. I think I'm going to sick my interns on it at the office. And I'm sorry if you see me doing this. This is Oscar. He's crawled over. And then so I was there searching for puzzles for the office because we have a puzzle table and our clients love the puzzle table. And I was also searching for more kits for either them or me, who knows. And so I walked away with, I think I got 12 puzzles, and then I got all of these kits except for 2 things in here for them. So while I am telling you about these kits, the price tag is still on them, so we will add up how much I spent total on all of these kits. So you can see how it's worthwhile to, do the work. And it's really fun to go hunting for garage sale finds and Goodwill finds and all this stuff. I enjoy it so much. Mainly, I think I enjoy it not only because I feel like I found a treasure, but also, like I just said, I just meet the best people. It's so much fun. Anyway, okay, so let's talk about what I got. So, all right, so this is the thing that was not from there. Okay. So the first one here is actually not my style at all. So there's a lot of needlepoint in this. I apologize. There's a lot of needlepoint in this. This is probably one of the only ones in this entire thing that I got that is not my style at all. But it is a needlepoint by, I think it's Dimensions? Yeah. Patterns on Blue. And it's really pretty. It's just, I don't know, it just doesn't speak to me. I feel like it's almost like a Persian rug look, which I like Persian rugs. I can't tell you why this doesn't speak to me. I'm not really positive. But it is a stamped mesh on the back and this is just a sampling of the yarn. All of the yarn is back here. So it comes with everything. And I believe on all of these, you're using the tent stitch. I haven't opened any of them, so I can't tell you for darn sure. But I think it's all tent stitch. This pattern came out in, I had it yesterday, and I even told you, 2014. So this is about 9 years old, never been opened, and I spent $5 on it. Yesterday, I went to Michael's and I got that last skein of thread floss that I needed for my Satsuma Mystery Sao. And I was looking at the kits there, and they didn't have any needlepoint, but they had a lot of, well, not even a lot, honestly. They had about 4 different designs of cross-stitch kits, and they started at $76. So let's just assume this might have been the same price, so $76, but I got it for $5. Okay, so $5 there, and that's, I mean, what? That's gonna, all of these things, you guys know, this is months of good fun, right? And my clients, they love these things. I love this one. This is by Jan Lin Company, and this is Watercolor Tulips. This is also a needlepoint using yarn. And we've got all the beautiful colors here. We've got the mesh in the back. This one came out in 2007, so this is 18 years old. And I spent $5 on it. So we're at $10 right now. Some might argue that even that is a little steep for a garage sale, but when it is for a good cause, I don't haggle. I usually haggle at all of my garage selling, but I, like this, no. Whatever was on there as far as price, I paid. I did not haggle. This is another watercolor that I absolutely love. This is called Path to the Sea, and it's by the company Elsa Williams. And I know the price tag is right over it, but this is also $5. And it's beautiful. There's a garden with a path with a garden gate, and then you can see the ocean in the background with sailboats. Oh, it's so peaceful. And here's all of the yarn. Look how plump this is. There is so much yarn in here. And this one, I think Elsa Williams doesn't give you the date as to when things came out, but I will double check. I mean, the finished size on this is 18 by 14 inches. I mean, come on. Yeah, she doesn't give you the date. She gives you all kinds of other things, and boy howdy does she copyright. There's so many copyright and registered symbols on here. But I am going to assume it's early 2000s because I don't feel like this is a 90s image. But so now we're at $15. Then that was the other one. Okay. Here is a needlepoint by Dimensions that is actually using floss, and this is called Old Mill Cottage. I got the words right there. And it is so gorgeous. I also spent $5 on this. This, I mean, that is calling out to me to pick up. So this was $5. This came out in sorry, there's a piece of floss in the way. 19, I had it yesterday. 1993. Wow. Wait, is that a 3 or a 9? No, that's a 9. 1999. So this is, let's see, 26 years old. Never opened. I wonder what kind of journey this thing has been on. Yeah, that would be so much fun to see. To just know the journey. Like this went with somebody from place to place to place. Or maybe it just sat in their closet and they never moved. And it was just lonely the whole time. But look at the swans. Swans are nasty little buggers, but they sure are beautiful. I love this piece. Okay, so $5 there. So let's see, so we're at $20. Then I think this is, okay. This one is a very special find. So this one is for me. Do you guys remember last episode I showed you the Christmas bow tie wreath to go on your door? I had never heard of such a thing, and I just assumed this was a one-off. No. There appears to be a series, and I am tempted to go on eBay and hunt out the rest of them because I want them all. Here's another one. So this is bow tie welcome sign, but I think it has a different name to it. Nope, it doesn't have a different name to it. But here's the welcome side, and then here's the garden side. Oh my gosh, it's so gorgeous. And obviously this is not stamped or anything. This is staying with me, period. I am so excited about these bow ties. Again, I can't tell you why I'm so excited about these bow ties, but I am. Like, they just make me so happy. I just cannot even tell you. All right, so we're at 25 now, because I think that one was $5. Yes, so we're at 25. And then the next 1, 2, 3, 4, those are patterns, are all $1. So that puts us at 29. Earmark that, because I'm going to forget. But this is an interesting set of collections that I still have never heard of it. It's from the Creative Circle. And these are, I believe, hand sewn. These are kits that make you either tapestries, a sort of harding or lace, or placemats, or mug cozies, and all of the kits come with all the supplies, not just some, all, including the batting. And even comes with, for the tapestry, which is this one here, it even comes with the dowel and the end hearts to hang it up. Right? And I got this for $1, and it's got 2 projects in it. I can see there's a couple of my clients that I can see wanting to do the tapestry. I'm not sure who would want to do the lace one. I think they would all be very intimidated by that. And then I got 2 of these. I didn't realize it when I was getting them, but they're the exact same kits, which I am not upset about because that just means I get to spread the love more. Or maybe I save one of them for a giveaway for you guys if you'd like. But these, I'll just show one. Actually, I'll show the one that looks a little bit better. These are little tiny pillows, and you guys know how we like our little tiny pillows for our little dough bowls and stuff. So this one is also hand sewn, and it comes with all of the supplies for both of them. And there looks to be even a tiny bit of like shishiko, or I guess we would call it cross stitching or embroidery, but it is in the Shishiko style on here around the hearts and the border. So that is so incredibly cute. I'm assuming we would hand sew these, but at the same time, looking closer at it, no, I think these are all hand sewn on here. Yeah, okay. And the last one is such a cutie. So there's a tapestry, a mug rug, and a doll, a soft doll in here. I love this one so much. The doll is so sweet. And it comes with everything again. And so all of those. So we're at 29. And then this is my last. Actually, I'll show you the two patterns. No, I'll show you this one first. This is my last kit. So from the Gold Collection of Dimensions, this is the, what did they call it? A Row of Love. And this was $5. Now, this came from a Hobby Lobby. This stamp, the price is still there, for $29.75. And this came out in 2000. So we have no Hobby Lobby in Alaska. So this has traveled from somewhere far away, lower 48 possibly, or even further, and has come all the way to Alaska to find its way to us. Over 25 years of travel. And, you know, this is not really my style either, but at the same time, it sure is darn cute. I love it. So $5 there, and we were at 29, so we're at 34. Then I got two patterns that I really don't know what to do with, so maybe we'll do this for giveaways, because they're not really something that I would do, and this is very obviously not something I would share with my clients. This is not in their wheelhouse kind of a thing. But both are by the Cricut Company, and I can see the original price tag on this first one. It was $9, but I got it for $1. And it comes with two patterns. It comes with the lady quilting, and then it comes with Over the River and Through the Woods to Grandmother's House We Go, with that whole family there. So it's a really good deal, and I got it for $1. So we're at 35. And then the last one is, again, by the Cricut Company. I can't see the original price on this one, but I'm assuming it was also $9. And it comes with, this one I think technically comes with a possibility of 3 patterns, because there's an additional pattern on the back. Oh, there's an additional pattern on the back there, right there. But it is a young lady stitching, and then a sampler. And at the bottom of the sampler it says, "Whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do it with thy might." And it's got some pineapple emblems on the top and the bottom, which I've never seen before. Maybe I just haven't paid attention to other patterns, but interesting. So now we're at 35. And that is what I spent on providing years worth of crafting joy to myself and to my clients, and possibly you. $35. What? Okay, so the last thing I'm going to share with you is this kit. Now, I don't know if you guys have been seeing on Instagram the all of the advertisements for the Painting Fairy cross stitch, but they got me, okay? And I went on there, and there's this one scene that this whole year I've been obsessed with, but I cannot get the pattern legally. You can get the pattern super cheap on Etsy, and I did do that back before I knew the rules about things. I had just assumed, hey, if it's on Etsy, they have the right to sell it. I don't know. You know, I'm gullible and naive, whatever. According to what I read, these guys have the right to sell this pattern. Okay? I cannot vouch for it, but it appears that they do. And this is the European town. Now, technically, the normal size of this one, if you did it on, I think it's 14 count, is 6 feet long. I got the 18 count, so that might put us down to about 4 feet. But, and I know this is terrible. I'll put a picture up in the corner of what this is. But this is so beautiful. And it comes with all the kits, all the colors, all the floss, and the printed fabric. And I have wanted this. And this is going to be my New Year's start. I'm a little bit intimidated, but at the same time, I personally feel very confident in my ability to work with the stamped cross stitch. I don't feel as confident on my counting patterns. So like, for instance, the Satsuma Mystery Sao, I want to do it so bad. And I even wanted to start it this morning, but I chickened out. Because I'm always afraid that I'm just going to start it wrong, or I'm going to count wrong, or I'm going to position things wrong. Like I did, like with the Rio de Janeiro one, like I'm restarting it. And that kind of confirms to me my fears about my counting ability. But my painting, cross-stitching, I'm a pro at. I'm going to get better at the counting cross-stitch, but also it's very hard for me to be able to concentrate on the counting piece, both in the pattern, whether it's paper pattern or on my iPad, or versus the stamped one, because I'm always having to be aware of Jimmy or the dogs. I don't have to be aware of Jimmy right now because he's at school. So that's why I thought it would be a good time to start it. But I also have a meeting starting in 20 minutes, and I want to get this done. So this is going to be my January 1st cast on. And I'm going to get a good lap scroll frame to do that one on. I'm not going to do it in hand like I do all my other stamped cross stitch. And I'm not going to fiddle with having it in a frame that I then have to fiddle with all of the extra fabric, because this thing is huge, guys. So it's going to be on a scroll frame. So I think I've just talked myself into getting that $60 one that's been in my cart on Etsy that looks really good. It's used, but you guys know we take good care of our stuff. So yeah. So that's what my treasures. You know what? That's probably what I should call this segment, my treasures. I like that. Okay. Thank you guys for joining me today. I love each and every one of you. You mean so much to me. For you to take the time to sit down and commune with me just means so much. I want to know your names. I want to get to know you. I want to understand your likes and your dislikes. But even if I don't have that opportunity, just know that you've made a difference in my life. Just by you sending out that positive energy to me. And I reciprocate that positive energy. We're going through some rough times throughout the entire world. Things are pretty scary. But it's the connections that will keep us resilient. The positive, good, caring, compassionate connections that will keep us resilient and keep on pushing through. So I invite you guys to reach out to somebody, to hold another person's spiritual hand, or, heart hand, whatever you want to call it. Just spread a little love. Or as the song goes, spread a little happiness, which I can't sing today. My voice is gone. But thank you guys for joining me. Now, until next time we see each other, may your needle fly through the fabric and you love every stitch you place on that piece. Thank you guys. Take care.